Guys, and welcome to Technical Skills Lesson 2. So make sure you have your technical skills table. That might be printed or that might be open on another tab, so you can fill this in as we go. So we're looking at spatial content today and relationship content. So start a task, quick quiz. So can you define action content? So remembering that from the last video. And can you define dynamic content? Also, what are the other technical skills? Remember, there are 7 in total. So what technical skills do you know? We have action content, spatial content, relationship content, movement in a stylistically accurate way, dynamic content, rhythmic content, and timing content. So how will we be examined on these skills in the theory exam? Well, in section A, we could be asked to define it and give examples of that skill. And in moving on to section B, you might be asked in the set phrases or your own choreographies how these are important. So defining them. So relationship content is the ways in which the dancers interact, so their interaction and it's their connection between themselves. Spatial content, it's the where of the movement. Let's go into these a bit deeper. So we've just gone over this, but the definition again is the ways in which dancers interact, the connection between the dancers. And some examples of relationship content: lead and follow, mirroring, action reaction, accumulation, complement and contrast, counterpoint, contact and formations. You will also need to be able to define each of those examples. So you might want to just pause the video and go to your AQA glossary where all of these definitions can be found as well. If not, I have put them on the Frog site if you want to go over them as well. So you could be asked to define any of those relationship examples in that list there. Also, you could get a question. We've just looked at it in hypothetical choreography, but give 2 ways you can develop your motif using relationships. So you would have to name 2 from this list, 2 different ones from this list. Relationship content, its importance in choreography. So it will increase the interest. Obviously, if you're adding contact, for example, the connection between the dancers is going to be more interesting. You're going to be able to use the dancers more. So it allows that connection between dancers. Can also be used to show the meaning of the dance, and it allows you to develop and move your choreography on. Okay, spatial content. So defining it again, it's the where of the movement, such as the levels, directions, pathways, shapes, designs, and patterns. That is the whole definition that AQA give us, so make sure you learn that. So examples of spatial content. So we have levels, direction, pathways, size of movement, and spatial design. So 5 different examples of spatial content that you need to know. You also need to be able to define all 5 of these. Again, you can find this on the AQA dance glossary, so it might be worth going over these again. Again, it could ask you, if in section A, for example, how would you develop this motif using 2 elements of space? You would again have to list 2 of these examples and explain how you develop it. Okay, looking at the importance in choreography. So it adds that interest. Again, if you've got a change in levels, change in direction, whole use of space, a different pathway, it's going to add that interest for the audience. Can also be used to show the meaning of the dance, allows that whole space to be used. So when you're choreographing, that's sometimes a part that you forget, kind of making duets in small spaces and then the dance becomes really small. But remember, when you come to perform, you will have the whole space. So using the whole space by using pathways and spatial design, for example. And of course, it adds variety into your choreography. So a really good choreographic tool is to go through these, and to make the movement more interesting, you could experiment with changing sizes of movement, direction, for example, levels, So it will add variety to your choreography. Okay, so your practical task as well for this week is to remember the street dance routine that you created last week. You're going to develop this routine by changing 3 elements of space. So you might want to go back to the elements of space if you've forgotten them. Choose 3 and develop the street dance routine that you've already choreographed. And then step 3, you don't need to do this because obviously you don't have more than one dancer other than yourself. But think about the relationships that you would use if this was a duet or a trio or a group dance, for example. Okay, so is there a moment that really lends itself to action and reaction, for example? Just take the time to plan out where you could use relationships in your street dance routine. Okay, that's it, guys, for the lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to email any of us, and I hope you have a good day.